Hello and welcome to the lecture on example 2 on files. So if you go to example 2 folder, the example is about copy, rename and delete a file. So let's look at these operations. So the logical flow is how to work with the file operations, and part of it will create this file. And I'll be storing under files. Okay, so before you do a file operation, let's understand if you do a file operation on copy, rename or delete, the first thing, what do you think you want to check? What do you want to check before you apply a copy, rename or delete? Well, that's correct. You have to check whether the file exists or not. Okay, that's your first activity. So you'll check whether the file exists, and after that you try to issue any commands like copy, rename or delete. So let's define the file name. So let's do an exercise. So let's say the file name is a folder. Okay, let's do with that wrong assumption. It's not a file name, it's a folder. Then how do you handle that situation? Right, first let's say whether the file exists or not. Exist doesn't care file or a folder, right? That's the first thing you should note. And it's able to true to say if folder exists or file exists. Okay, so we'll do a condition to say file exists. That's the first condition, and you can write the else block and echo file or directory does not exist. And then there's a command to say die. Die is to close the program, and you say no such files. Okay, you cannot do any operation. Let's run this and understand what if a file is a directory name. Okay, let's understand that, then we'll do our exercise. Okay, file or directory does not exist, no such files. Okay, so let's create a directory. Okay, and then we'll understand from there. Okay, so here the file is in the www files. So let's create a directory here, called it my folder. Okay, then it's actually going in the if loop and it's able to find that directory. Okay, let's say that my folder is a file. Okay, again this case it's able to find that file. Okay, given it be a folder or a file, the file exist will check whether it exists or not. So you have to be very careful when you use file exist. It says file exists, but it could be file, it could be folder as well. Okay, so now you can say echo file exists. You're able to find that, and then you have to check if it is a directory. Okay, so now you can say if it is a directory, then you don't want to execute the program, right? And what is that you want to check is the file name, right? And then you will say echo, or you can just simply exit out of the program by die, and you can pass the text in it. So it is a directory, not file. Okay, let's look into this example. So you have to create a directory first. So I hope it's my folder. Yeah, so file exists, yes, file exists, but it is a directory, not a file. So you cannot actually do copy, rename and all those things on a directory, right? You have to do on a file. So if it's a directory, you just come out of the program. Okay, if it is not a directory, then you continue copying the files. So let's copy file. Okay, so the command we saw previously is to copy. Okay, and we'll say $file name to copy file.txt. Okay, you can actually copy the new file name that you created with another file name, because it is instant, right? It's created, and the next command you can issue to copy the same new created file name with another file name, so we can loop it as well. Okay, so let's create that file. We delete this folder, we create that file. Okay, I'll call it .txt. We place some text in it. We'll take this file name and we'll attach it to our .txt. Okay, now yes, we want to create two files. Okay, so let's check whether we are able to create the files or not. Okay, so two files has been created. Copy file is copied to copy one file, and if you open up, they have the same text. Okay, so copy will copy the files. To rename, you have a command to rename. Okay, you can just change it to rename, and you want to change the copy file one file to renamed file. Okay, and if you see this example, so let's delete our files. Okay, so you have the renamed file. The copy file one was created and renamed. Okay, it was created, then it was renamed. That's why you see the renamed file now. Okay, and if you want to copy over, you can create a copy of that renamed file. We'll say the renamed file and to copy over to deleted file. Okay, so what will happen is this file gets created, rename file, deleted, and we'll try to delete it. Before that, we'll check whether the file is created or not. Okay, so this file is created, and the program we will delete this file like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So for that, how to delete the file? You can do it via unlink, and then you have to just pass the file. Okay, so let's uncomment this first. So this file get created, but when you unlink it, run it, that file never gets created. That file is created and deleted because you have unlinked that file. Okay, you've deleted that file. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of what we have learned here. File exists, we'll check whether the file or the folder exists. Each directory will check whether that file is a directory or not. Copy command is to copy files from one location to other, one file name to another. Rename is to rename files. Unlink is to delete files. And die is a command that we learned to exit out of the program with some text printed onto the console. Okay, so that's all in the lecture on file operations, and I'll see you in the next one.